We've spoken of the one thing in the Hermetic teaching. And now for completeness, let's look at the scientific point of view. Let's look at what quantum physics has to say about the same subject and compare it. So everything we've said is made of the one thing. In quantum physics, they say that everything is made up of atoms, okay? Now these atoms can be broken down into subatomic particles, and these subatomic particles can be further broken down into just a fluctuation of energy and information, just free flowing inside a massive void. And this void, you could say, is really a field of potentiality. It's like a negative field waiting to be filled, waiting for these ideas and this energy and of information to flip into life and to start forming something. And this scientific realization that things aren't solid, because as we look at things, we experience them as solid objects, but science now knows that this isn't true. And this has led to a massive explosion in scientific knowledge. The fact that the substances that we experience as solid are actually just made up of these tiny particles, so they're not solid at all, much the same as the one thing that we've spoken of. So these subatomic particles, which have names like electrons, protons, quarks and bosons, these are actually, before anything happens, they're just, like we say, impulses of energy information. It does sound like the one thing by adaptation, doesn't it? Now, our thoughts are also the same thing. They're impulses of energy and information. So you can see how it's our thoughts that manipulate reality, manipulate what we experience out here as objects. You can see how it's our thoughts that manipulate how things change, because that is the idea of the energy, the fluctuation of energy information. It's controlled by our thoughts. Now, you don't have to understand this thing at any great level, but it's really just for comparison and for completion. But it's just fascinating that the ancient Hermetic teachings kind of meet up with quantum physics. Anyway, that's that for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Now we're looking at the concept of consciousness, because a good understanding of consciousness is vital for us, for the work that we want to carry out. It's vital for us to be able to control our external environment and to control our personal circumstances, for us to build the happy, the wealthy, the productive life that we're looking for. Because this is our goal, this is what we really want to do, and this is what we're going to do. So the fundamental question is, what is consciousness? It's a question that has been asked throughout millennia, down through time. It's this question of, who are we? Who exactly is this person here? We've said it isn't the body. So where does the body end? And where does this strange phenomenon of our inner self, where does that begin? Where is the dividing line? Or how does it intermesh together? Now this is really is the centre of our work. To us who follow or are on our first steps to this road, this journey to wisdom, it is fundamental to us to know who we are and how also this connects to the one thing that we've been speaking about in the previous videos. This one power, this all-consuming one thing. Where do we fit in? How do we, as part of it, and how does our consciousness and our person and our self and our spirit, how does it all mingle in together? So this is going to be our focus to us in achieving our goals, our aims. So subconsciousness is at the centre of our work. It's what we concentrate our thoughts on. not just now, but during our work, how we concentrate our thoughts, to this subconsciousness or this collective consciousness. Now, it's something that also is known about by science, as all this is really. Carl Jung spoke of the collective unconscious, and this is basically the same thing. In 1936, he did a talk to St Bartholomew's Hospital, and I have a cutting from it here, so I'll read this. He called it the concept of the collective unconscious. My thesis then is as follows. In addition to our immediate consciousness, which is of thoroughly personal nature and which we believe to be the only empirical, there exists a second psychic system of collective, universal and impersonal nature, which is identical in all individuals. This collective unconsciousness does not develop individually, but is inherited. It consists of pre-existing forms, the archetypes, which can only become conscious secondarily and which give definite form to certain psychic contents. So this is what we're dealing with. This is how Jung sees the subconsciousness that we're dealing with. Now we know that subconsciousness has its own particular properties. So we can learn these. And we will learn these, and we'll learn to work with them to fulfill our heart's desire, to change our lives in the positive ways that we want to do this. Now, of course, we'll go deeper in the next course, and we'll go very deep into the whole thing in the course Self-Mastery and Empowerment through Ancient Wisdom. Both of these are on the Megalithic Academy of Histories and Mysteries. So if you want to follow this journey, with me, that's how you can do it. But for now, just think about the idea of subconsciousness, this collective and secretive element of the consciousness. Just think about the idea of it, how it's singular, yet it's an eternal resource. It joins us together with everything, yet it keeps us in some way separate. For now, consider this concept. This might seem a bit strange, but trust me, speak to subconsciousness like it's another person and say, subconsciousness, show me your inner properties, reveal them to me, and be receptive and to whatever comes back to you. It won't be immediate, well, it might be immediate, but over time, these properties of consciousness will show themselves to you. So that's it for consciousness. I'll see you in the next video.